Hello everyone, my name is Akanksha Sonampurkar. Today I am really excited to talk about pre-pruning and post-pruning in decision trees. So, we all know decision trees are one of the simplest and most powerful machine learning algorithms. But here is the catch. If we let them grow without control, they can become huge, messy, and confusing. And that's where pruning comes in. So, in this presentation, we will explore why pruning is needed, what it is, how it works, and the challenges, and finally a quick summary. So, let's get started. So, first, let's answer the question, why do we need pruning in decision trees? Well, decision trees naturally keep growing. They can split on small details again and again. So, if we allow this unlimited growth, then the tree may start learning a noise instead of the real pattern. So, that's what we call overfitting. Like imagine a tree that memorizes every tiny details. Then it might perform well on the training data, but fails badly on the new data. So, pruning fixes this problem. It makes the tree simpler, faster, and more accurate. So let's look at this example here. The one tree that looks messy with too many branches, and that's we call overfitting. And by pruning, we cut off those unnecessary splits and keep only the important ones, just like trimming a plant. So by pruning, the tree becomes neat and healthy. Now that we know why pruning is important, let's focus on what pruning actually is. So pruning simply means cutting away unnecessary branches in a decision tree. So instead of memorizing useless details, the tree focuses on general patterns. There are two main ways to prune a tree. The first one is pre-pruning, which means early stopping. Here we set conditions before the tree grows too much. For example, stop if the depth is greater than 3 or if the fewer than 10 samples are left. So the main idea is to stop growth early. And the second one is post pruning, which means trimming. So in this method, we first allow the tree to grow fully, even if it becomes very complex. And later, we look at the each branches and ask, does this branch really improve accuracy? And if not, then we cut it off. So the image here shown a branch being removed. That's pruning in action. Just like trimming a plant, pruning keeps tree neat and healthy. So, pruning helps to keep the model useful, general, and easy to understand. Next, let's see how pruning works in practice. So, in pre-pruning, we use rules to limit growth. These rules could be maximum depth of the tree, minimum numbers of samples needed to split, or a threshold for accuracy gain. So if the condition is reached, the tree just stop growing further. And in post pruning, the process is totally different. We first grow the full tree, no matter how complex it is, and then we evaluate each branch. If removing a branch doesn't reduce accuracy, we cut it off. In the diagram, we notice how pre-pruning controls the growth from the very beginning, while pre-pruning allow full growth and then trimming later. So the difference comes down to when pruning happens, before or after full tree growth. Of course, pruning is not always perfect. There are some challenges. So if we prune too much, the tree becomes too simple and miss important patterns. This is called underfitting. And if we prune too little, the tree remains too complex and memorize noise. And that's called the overfitting. So look at this image where the small graph on the left is underfitting, which is easy, and the U graph on the right, which is overfitting, which is complex, and the middle one is just right, properly balanced pruning. So the real challenge is to find the sweet spot between simplicity and accuracy. Alright, let's quickly summarize everything we discussed today. So, pruning makes decision tree simpler and more accurate. It prevents overfitting and helps the model generalize better. Pre-pruning means stopping the growth early, while post-pruning means cutting later. But the key is a balance. Prune just enough, not too much, not too little. And here is the final comparison. Before pruning, the tree is big and messy, and after pruning, it's clear and effective. Thank you.